Well, hello, NEDA ministry leaders. I hope you're all doing well and are making the most of what's left of summer. Well, last week, the district board got together to finalize plans for our annual conference scheduled for October 20th and 21st. And as you can imagine, there was a lot to consider this year. We weighed COVID-19 concerns, the readiness of district pastors to gather together in one place, as well as the emotional and spiritual well-being of our pastors. And after getting input from a survey we sent out, after considering current state guidelines, and also after looking at the declining numbers of COVID-19 cases in New England, and most importantly, after talking to Camp Spofford about their plan that they utilized this past summer for gathering guests, we've decided to formulate a modified plan for our district conference this coming October. We're going to gather in person at Camp Spofford and live streamed online. But before I get further into the details of the format, let me first explain the theme to you for our conference this year. I'm pretty excited about it. Last winter, we chose Renew to be the theme for this year's district conference. We had no idea how timely this theme would be. This has been a very hard and very difficult year, to say the least. I've heard this year described as a foot race that ministry leaders were involuntarily entered into and are currently now running without knowing how long the race is going to be or really where they're going. I think that's an apt description for this year. Many of you are understandably weary as you've been making decision after decision this year during COVID-19. And in light of the situation that we're in, I think the words of Isaiah chapter 40, verse 30 resonate very deeply. Even youths shall faint and be weary, and young men shall fall exhausted. I think it's healthy to admit this reality. We all are finite creatures with limited strength and limited wisdom. We all at some point come to the end of ourselves. That's a hard truth to realize, but also a good truth to realize. For when we do, when we recognize our weakness and our weariness, we find ourselves quite ready for the hope expressed in verse 31. But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. We all grow weary, but the renewing of strength is available to those who hope in the Lord. And it's my prayer that we experience the renewal of our strength as we gather together in October at our district conference to seek the Lord.
We really want this conference to be an opportunity for spiritual renewal for us as families, not just as ministry leaders. Unfortunately, the stress and pressure of ministry often affects the health of marriages and families, as well as the health of the church. So we want to take time to invest in these primary relationships, which can easily suffer during seasons of stress. Our keynote speakers will be Jimmy and Susie Callum. Jimmy pastored an EFCA church in Charlotte for more than 40 years, and now he and Susie lead a pastoral care ministry called Tandem Spirituality. We are excited to have them share with us, drawing for what they have learned during decades of ministry. So please mark your calendars and plan to join Sam and I, whether you're a single pastor or as a ministry couple, for this time of renewal, whether you can make it in person or online.
Now for some of the format details. The conference is being shortened and simplified this year to a one-day spiritual renewal focus on Tuesday that can be attended either in person at Camp Spofford or live streamed from your home. On Tuesday, October 20th, there will be 2 keynote sessions in the chapel at Camp Spofford. The first will be at 10 a.m. and the second will be at 3:30 p.m. For these sessions in the chapel, the plan is to follow New Hampshire recommendations in reducing the seating to 40% of the building's capacity and to distance the seating from one another. So we're also going to ask conference attenders to wear masks while moving to their seats and while singing. Now, for those of you who are not comfortable attending an in-person gathering or just unable to attend, both keynote sessions will be live streamed. There will also be 2 meals served that day in the Camp Spofford Dining Hall, lunch at noon and dinner at 5:30. And in keeping with New Hampshire protocol, seating at tables will be limited to 6 people. And we're going to organize the table seating by geography so that you'd sit with other conference attenders from your general region to limit opportunities for regional spread. Conference attenders will also need to wear masks in the dining hall whenever they're not sitting at their table. Now, after lunch, there's going to be a time for a small group sharing and prayer. Unlike past years where we've had a more ministry skills kind of discussion, this really is opportunity to connect with one another pretty simply and to pray. I think we all need this in this season. Weather permitting, this is going to be done outside. I'm hoping we have a beautiful fall day. If the weather is inclement, the small groups will meet indoors with appropriate social distancing. The afternoon will also include some free time, opportunity to take a walk, catch up with other ministry friends, or again, weather permitting, maybe relax by the lake for a little bit. After dinner, conference attenders will be free to either head home or spend the night at Camp Spofford if they would like a quiet night away from home. Camp Spofford will be booking rooms either to individuals or married couples, but they're not booking shared rooms for people coming from separate families. That's one of their protocols they implemented this summer and really seemed effective in limiting potential opportunities for spread. The business meeting is going to be held at 10 o'clock Wednesday morning, and we're reviewing this primarily as an online business meeting. Now, those of you who do spend the night at Camp Spofford are welcome to attend in person. I will still be there. It'll happen in the chapel. But for those of you who are at home, you can attend the annual meeting over Zoom, and this will be conducted remotely. And we're putting together a plan for that to be done well. One other change for this year, we're not inviting ministry partners and vendors to attend the conference this year to limit the number of people coming from outside NEDA churches to the conference. Now, obviously, our plans to be in person at Camp Spofford are contingent on there not being an increase in coronavirus cases in New England and additional restrictions not be putting in place on larger gatherings. If this happens, we will move our annual conference to a purely online format on Wednesday morning. And so stay in tune for that.
While it's been a difficult year and pretty tiring at times, we serve a God who does not faint, grow weary, or lack for understanding. And God invites us to seek Him, to hope in Him, to wait for Him. And He promises to give power to the faint and increase the strength of the weary so that we can run the race set before us. We invite you to join us October 20th and 21st to seek the Lord together and be renewed in Him.
In the next couple weeks, we'll send out some more information about registration details, so look for those. We look forward to getting together with you all one way or another. And we hope you have a great Labor Day weekend.